brown, yes. But when it says it's polished, meaning it's burnt.
It's burnt.
Burnt. Meaning dark skin. He said the skin on his arms and his feet was polished or burnt brass. Guess what? Meaning, that's talking about Jesus the Christ being a dark skin.
Being the black.
That's the Most High.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 9.
And guess what? We're going to get this in the New Testament. I'm just reading the Old right now.
Yeah.
We're going to get it in the New Testament. Right. Come on.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down.
And then all these kingdoms was burnt up. Go ahead.
And the Ancient of Days did sit.
The Ancient of Days is talking about the Most High God. Right. The Ancient of Days, meaning he was before time. Right. And what?
Ancient of Days did sit.
Did sit. Guess what? God, sitting up in heaven, has a body.
That's right.
You're sitting. If you can sit, that means you're sitting on the heaven. You're sitting on the throne. That means you got a body. Come on.
Whose garment was white as snow.
And guess what? He got a bad garment too. Got one of the baddest garments, not even one. He has the baddest garment ever.
That's right.
Created. Come on.
And the hair of his head.
Guess what? This is talking about God. The hair on his head.
Like the pure wool.
Like the pure wool. What nation of people have woolly, textured hair?
One nation of people on the planet is African American.
So what does that say about the Most High God? He looked like who?
That means he looks like me.
That's right.
That's right. He ain't no rock. He ain't no rock. He ain't no just puff of smoke floating up in the sky.
Right.
You know? He's a black man, just like his son, Jesus the Christ, the black man.
That's right.
The proof is in the Bible. You're not going to find that in the Quran. You're not going to find that in the Book of the Dead. You ain't going to find that in no other book outside of the Book of Life.
That's right.
The Bible is the Book of Life. Revelation 1, let's prove it in the New. I want to make sure that we leave no stone unturned. I want to make sure you get the full understanding.
Bring it out. The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1.
Bring it out. This is the brass that we was talking about. We're going to read about this again. Come on.
The revelation of Jesus Christ.
The revelation or the revealing, Brother Isaiah, of Jesus Christ. Even your name is spiritual.
That's right.
Isaiah. Talking about you a Sunni, and your name is Isaiah. Out of the script, out of the Bible.
I don't know what I am until I learn.
All right. You learn it today, right?
That's right.
All praise to the Most High. Come on.
The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
When it says the revelation, we're reading out of the book of Revelation, this is the revealing of Jesus Christ, right? It's the top of the book.
The revelation of Jesus Christ.
What we're getting ready to read. Jump down to verse 14.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 14.
Bring it out.
His head and his hairs.
Stop. It says his head, meaning the hair on his head, and his what?
And his hairs.
And his hairs, meaning the beard on his face was what?
Were white like wool.
Didn't we just read about woolly hair somewhere? Before we was talking about the Most High God, the creator of heaven and the earth. Now we're talking about his son, the revealing of Jesus the Christ. It said, read it again.
His head and his hairs were white.
His head and his hairs were what?
White like wool.
Were white like wool. White like wool. Come on.
As white as snow.
As white as snow. That's talking about the color. Come on.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
The whites of his eyes was a flame of fire. Why? Because Jesus Christ drank wine in moderation. Alcohol isn't a sin. Getting drunk is the sin.
Getting drunk
is the sin. But drinking alcohol, wine, strong drink, whatever the case is, that's not a sin. Jesus Christ drank wine. He drank strong drink in moderation. That's why the whites of his eyes was red. Come on.
And his feet.
Now it's talking about his feet. If you took your shoes off and you took your sock off, what would I see? The skin on your feet, right?
Yes, sir.
So it says what?
And his feet.
His feet, the skin on his feet.
Like.
Remember, John the Revelator is revealing what Jesus Christ looked like. Now he saw the hair on his head. He saw the beard on his face. Now he saw the whites of his eyes that were red. Now he's talking about what? Now he's talking about his feet. Come on.
Like unto fine brass.
Like unto fine brass. Brass gonna come with the fine brass. Come on.
As if they burned in a furnace.
As if you burnt this in a furnace, what color would it turn?
It'd be dark brown.
It'd be dark.
You'll see a little bit of the brown, but it'll be dark brown.
It'd be dark. It'd be dark.
That's
brown.
right.
Absolutely. Read that part again.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
You know where else we read that? We read that in the old when it said like polished brass. The polished brass is talking about brass that was what?
Burned in a furnace.
That's what polished means.
That's right.
Burnt in a furnace. Jesus Christ is a dark-skinned man.
Teach.
Right.
His Father, the Most High God, is a dark-skinned man.
That's right.
So all this stuff that we got about light skin, dark skin, all that stuff, that's crap we learned in slavery.
Right.
That's crap we learned in slavery. Israel, we as a speckled bird, we all shades, but guess what? Jesus the Christ and his son, and his father, they were dark skinned.
That's right.
And his voice as the sound of many waters.
I want to read that part because you're probably wondering why I'm speaking loud. Why I'm speaking so bold. Why? Because Jesus Christ spoke loud.
That's right.
He spoke boldly.
That's right.
You are an Israelite from the tribe of Judah.
That's right.
And guess what? You're above all the other nations. Deuteronomy 7. And guess what that means? You're above all the other nations on the face of the planet.
Teach.
Ain't no Muslim on top of all nations.
Right.
Ain't no white man above all the other nations.
Right.
They're above all the other nations because they've conquered all other nations. But guess what? The creator of heaven and earth, he said the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we're above all the other nations on the face of the planet.
That's right.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6.
Bring it out.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people.
Stop. Wait a minute. Read that again. Read slow. Read it from the top.
For thou art an holy people.
You know who the thou is that he's talking to?
Thou art holy people.
Who's the thou?
Thou. Me meaning thou, but thou means me.
It's me. Okay, now we're gonna define who's the me. Hold that. One and one. Deuteronomy.
Bring it out.
We're gonna leave no stone unturned. All right? Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1. Let's get the audience. Let's see who Moses is talking to. The book of Deuteronomy was written by Moses. Come on.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 1.
Bring it out.
These be the words which Moses
Spoke to
unto all Israel.
unto the 12 tribes of Israel.
That's right.
So what we getting ready to read was written to the 12 tribes of Israel by an Israelite. 7 and 6.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6.
Bring it out.
For thou art an holy people.
So who's the thou that's a holy people?
The Israelites.
The Israelites.
That's right.
Who are the Israelites today?
Describing my Messiah, I'm an Israelite.
That's
They're
right.
Israelites.
That's right.
Guess what? So are the so-called Hispanics, Mexicans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Haitians, Jamaicans, Trinidad, Tobago, St. Martin, St. Kitts. Those are the Israelites. Come on.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
God said the Israelites are a holy people. He said thou, the Israelites, are a holy people. Come on.
The Lord thy God.
No, are a holy people.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Unto the Most High God, the creator of the heavens and the earth. The creator of everything that you see. The creator of the trees. The creator of the air that you breathe in right now. The creator of the carbon dioxide that is proceeding out of your mouth when you breathe.
Right.
He said you are above. He said you are a holy people. Come on.
Unto the Lord thy God.
Unto him. He didn't say that about nobody else. Come on.
Right.
The Lord thy God had chosen thee.
God chose Brother Isaiah. God chose the nation of Israel. Come on.
To be a special people.
To be a special people.
Bring it out.
Special. You know what it means to be special? You smiling because I think you got a clue. What does it mean to be special?
To be different, to be outside the norm.
To be different.
That's right.
To be the one that is the outcast. You are special.
To be I like that. To be the one that's an outcast, but guess what? You survived it all. We've survived. We're surviving hell right now. We're surviving hell right now. What other nation of people can stake claim to the fact that they was shipped from one continent to another, sold as slaves, and are still the top nation on the planet in terms of what? In terms of inventions, in terms of our creativity. Hell, we making up all the freaking dances. We're the top athletes.
Right.
We're the top when it comes to education.
Right.
Sports. All other nations, they want to do our dances and all this other stuff. What other nations staking claim to that? No other nation. Read that again.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Come on, watch this. Beneath.
Above.
Below.
Above.
Equal to.
Above.
God said we are above. Who?
All people that are upon the face of the earth.
Wait a minute. That don't sound like equality. That don't sound like we all supposed to be coming together, joining hand in hand, and we all equal.
Right.
Read just that part again.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
God said the children of Israel are above all people upon the face of the earth. That's what God said. I'm gonna prove it some more, because you may think, oh, that's just one scripture. That was way back in the past, right? Joel 2:26.
Bring it out.
Some more. I gotta prove it some more. I don't want to leave no stone unturned. Joel 2:27. I'm gonna make sure you get this. Joel chapter 2 and verse 27.
Bring it out.
Come on.
The book of Joel chapter 2 verse 27.
Bring it out.
And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
The Most High God and His Son Jesus Christ is amongst you.
The midst of Israel.
He's in the midst of Israel. Come on.
And that I am the Lord your God.
And He's the Lord your God, brother Isaiah. Come on.
And none else.
And none else. And none else.
Bring it out.
Meaning nobody else on the face of the planet is God dealing with outside of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right.
Come on.
And my people shall never be ashamed.
It said, in my people. Even God Himself is saying, y'all are my people.
Right.
He didn't say the Muslims were His people. He never said that. Matter of fact, let me show you what He said about the other nations. What did He say about the Muslims? What did He say about the Sunni? Is that what it's called, Sunni?
Yes,
Sunni.
Second nation.
Isaiah 40. Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 7.
Bring it out.
Isaiah chapter 40 verse 7. I want to make sure that I'm giving you a clear understanding of what God, the Creator, not Allah, that's an idol. Come on. You know what I want.
Verse 17. All nations before him are as nothing.
You see that? God said all the other nations before Him was what?
As nothing.
Something.
Nothing.
Everything.
Nothing.
Above everybody else.
Nothing.
God said they're nothing.
That's right.
But what did He say about the children of Israel? That we are His chosen people.
That's right.
That's what God said. Come on, is that it? Come on.
And they are counted to him less than nothing.
How are you less than zero? How are you less than nothing? You're negative.
That's right.
That's what God said about the other nations. That's what He said about Muslims. That's what He said about Islam. That's what He said about being a Sunni.
Right.
They're negative. It's as if they didn't exist. Come on, is that it?
And vanity.
And vanity. They're nothing. Now, let's get in the New Testament. Matthew chapter 2, verse 6.
Bring it out.
Matthew chapter 2, verse 6, because this is what God said about the children of Israel in the New Testament.
Bring it
Because
out.
a lot of people think, oh, that was the Old Testament. That's done away. We learned that in slavery, where the biggest book, the biggest side of the book is just negated. Come on.
The book of Matthew chapter 2 verse 6.
Bring it out.
And thou Bethlehem in the land of Judah are not the least among the princes of Judah.
This is what Christ was born in the hood. Bethlehem. He was born in the hood. Just like our people today, right? Come on. Hey, he wasn't in no high rise in Jerusalem. He wasn't in no deluxe apartment in the sky, right? Bethlehem was in the hood. Come on.
For out of thee shall,
He said, out of the hood with what?
shall come a governor.
Shall come a governor, a ruler. Come on.
That shall rule.
That shall what?
Shall rule.
That shall rule who?
My people in Israel.
My people Israel. This is the New Testament. God said the children of Israel are His people. This man, who many of our people worship, they say, oh, everybody's equal. Everybody's on the same page. Let's all just join hand in hand. Meanwhile, we getting shot dead in the street.
Right.
Meanwhile, we got the poorest education.
Right.
Meanwhile, our streets are lined up and down with piss and feces and everything else.
Right.
That's why we get redlined. Jim Crow happened to us. That didn't happen to white folks. Redlining happened to us. That didn't happen to Muslims. Slavery happened to us. That didn't happen to the Sunnis.
My
Right.
children will be enslaved in the land for over 400 years.
That was ancient Egypt, but guess what? We strangers here too.
Yes, sir. That's what I thought about with about old Egypt versus now.
Guess what? It's the same place. It's the same place. America spiritually is Egypt. And guess what we were doing in ancient Egypt? Guess what the Israelites were doing in ancient Egypt? Exodus 6. I think that's what I was saying. Exodus 6 and 4 and 6. Exodus chapter 6, verse 5.
The book of Exodus chapter 6 verse 5.
This is what the children of Israel were doing in ancient Egypt during that 400 years. Come on.
And I've also heard the groaning of the children of Israel,
I've heard the groanings or the complaints or the cries of the children of Israel. Come on.
whom the Egyptians keep in bondage.
Whom the Egyptians keep in bondage. What's another word for bondage? Slavery. Come on.
And I have remembered my covenants. Wherefore, say unto the children of Israel, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians.
God said he would save the Israelites back in the ancient times out of slavery. What you think's gonna happen today? Now hold up, Luke 1. I'm gonna show you in the New Testament what's gonna happen for the children of Israel today.
Bring it out.
The book of Luke chapter 1 verse 68.
Bring it out.
Blessed be the Lord God of Israel.
Go again. Blessed be the Lord God of all nations.
Of Israel.
Blessed be the Lord God of the Sunnis.
Of
Of
Israel.
the Muslims.
Of Israel.
Of the white men.
Of
Of
Israel.
the Chinese.
Of
Of
Israel.
the Japanese.
Of Israel.
Go ahead.
For he had visited and redeemed his people,
Go ahead.
and had raised up an horn of salvation.
You know how he redeemed us? By sending his son, Jesus Christ.
That's right.
That's how he's redeeming us. Come on.
For us in the house of his servant David.
Go ahead. Out of the loins of David, out of the seed of the sperm of David. Come on.
And he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets.
Guess what? Guess who some of the prophets are?
Moses.
Who else?
Talking about prophets.
I thought you would have knew. I thought you would have knew. Isaiah. That's the one I'm. David, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, Paul, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, the other 12 disciples, Bartholomew, right?
Yes, sir.
Read.
And he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets.
His holy prophets. Isaiah was one of his holy prophets. That's why I said your name is spiritual.
That's right.
Which have been since the world began.
Go ahead.
That we should be.
That we, who's the we? Who's the we? I'm asking. Who's the we?
We are the Israelites.
That's right.
Come on.
Should be saved.
Should be what?
Should be saved.
Should be saved. From who?
From our enemies.
From our enemies. Who are our enemies today?
Anybody that doesn't love God.
Anybody, okay, that's good. Anybody that doesn't love God. You got some white people that saying that they love God. Who would be our enemies today?
Our enemies today would be, sure would hate to say it, the Caucasian male.
Why would you hate to say it?
I would hate to say it because I like to think of God as having everlasting love for all people.
But remember what we just read.
That they are not the chosen people. We are the chosen people.
Right, because he said that they're less than nothing.
That's right.
God said the other nations are less than nothing. Now, I'm going to show you out of the Bible. Hold that. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48.
Watch
Bring it out.
Therefore,
Matter of fact, hold that. 28, start at verse 15. Hold that, start at verse 15.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 15.
Bring it out.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice
Go ahead.
of the Lord thy God,
Yeah, remember, Moses is speaking to the children of Israel. He said, if you will not hearken, meaning listen to the voice of the Lord thy God, come on,
to observe and to do all his commandments,
to observe and do all his commandments, come on,
and his statutes,
and his statutes,
which I command thee this day,
which I command you, I bid you this day,
that all these curses,
all these what?
all these curses,
All of these curses, come on,
shall come upon thee,
shall come upon the children of Israel
and overtake thee.
and overtake the children of Israel. Is a curse a good or a bad thing?
Bad day.
That's a bad thing. Now let's see, we're gonna read Deuteronomy 28:48. We're
Deuteronomy.
talking about the enemies. We're talking about the curses that the children of Israel will be up under. Remember, we talking about enemies, right?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
The book of Deuteronomy 28 and verse 48.
Bring it out.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Therefore shall you serve your enemies. Come on, not your friends, not your buddies, not your equals, not your pals. It says you will do what?
Thou shalt serve thine
You would
enemies,
serve your enemies. Come on.
which the Lord shall send against
Which
thee.
God would send against the children of Israel. God sent our enemies against us.
Right.
What I'm getting ready to do, what the Bible's getting ready to show you, is identify who the enemies are. Because we can't just paint a broad brush and say enemies.
Yeah,
that could be anybody. That could be the brother that almost, man, that brother almost hit me with a car. That's my enemy.
Right.
Right? But we got to identify who the real enemy is. Come on. Therefore
shalt thou serve thine enemies,
will you serve your enemies? Come on.
which the Lord shall send against thee,
Which God would send against the children of Israel
in hunger
for food.
and in thirst.
Watch this. These are the things that you would serve your enemies for. What was the first thing?
In hunger
Guess what? You would serve your enemies for food.
and in thirst,
You would serve your enemies for water.
and in nakedness,
You would serve your enemies for clothes on your back.
and in want of all things.
I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to start with the things that our people own. Right, I don't know if people still wear it, but Rockaway. Who used to own that?
I'm not sure.
Jay-Z.
I'm not big on fashion.
Fat Farm. Okay. Fat Farm. Sean John. That's P. Diddy.
Yeah,
The Fat
Sean
Farm was Russell Simmons.
Yeah.
Right? I don't Russell.
Yeah,
One of them
Russell- it was
Simmons.
Simmons, yeah.
One of them Simmons. Right?
Yes, sir.
So they guess what? Our people would say, no, our people own clothing. They own clothing stores.
Yeah.
They own fashion labels.
Yeah.
No. Our people they may own the tag, they may own their name, but guess what? You don't own the raw cotton
That's right.
textiles that it takes to make the shirt.
That's right.
We don't own the ships that are being shipped from other countries to come to America to make the shirt. We gotta go to who?
Our enemies.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy. That's the part I wanted, thine enemy. We gotta go to our enemy to even print the clothes.
Right.
A lot of our people use AliExpress. You know what AliExpress is?
Clothing designing company, is embroidery company for different shirts, clothes.
They make everything. That's in
tags,
China.
banners.
We ain't the only way that we can get something made and put in our names, we gotta go to another nation. We gotta go to China, use their factories. Before you even get to, let's say, okay, cool, you get to China. You know how you gotta get to China? You gotta get a passport.
Yes.
You know who you gotta get a passport from?
Government.
The government. Do our people run the government?
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. Read it again. Therefore
shalt thou serve thine enemies.
So that should bring it a little bit. That should bring it a little bit closer to home as far as who the enemy is. God said you would serve them for what?
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Come on.
In hunger.
For food. Guess what? The food that is on your table. They got all the companies, all the fast food stuff. Just the raw tomatoes, raw vegetables, broccoli, so on and so forth. Many of our people can't even get the acreage to grow that type of food.
Right.
You gotta go to Kroger to get the seeds.
Yeah.
You gotta go to Walmart. That's owned by so-called white men.
Yes, it is.
You gotta go to Tom Thumb to even get the seeds. Guess what? You can't just show up on whatever one of these streets over here and just get maybe an acre and start growing. You can't just take over an acre of land. Who you gotta go to? You gotta go to the city. You gotta go to the state. You gotta get certain licenses. You gotta get certain certifications. You gotta purchase that land. You can't just, and remember, your ancestors, your forefathers farmed this land
That's right.
by blood and sweat, 20 plus hours a day, and you can't even get a plot of land.
Teacher.
If you do get that plot of land, guess what? You got to get a loan for it. With that loan, you got to pay back what? Interest.
on the loan.
So you got to pay not only to own the land, you got to pay over and above what you agreed to pay, which was interest, to own the land. Your foremothers and your forefathers, they tilled the land in order to even get the grass that's growing on it now. Hell, everything in America should be ours.
That's right.
Free. We should be able to just pull up and park and start growing our own food, but we can't do that. Why?
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee,
Come on.
in hunger
Food
and in thirst.
for water. For water. You don't own the aquifers and the ducts and things like that. You don't own the springs to make spring water.
The water
The only thing you can do is go to Walmart and buy a water filter
Right.
to get clean water.
Right.
I'm gonna give you another example. What happened? What's going on in Detroit? Is it Detroit?
Michigan.
Yeah, Flint, Michigan.
Water was poison.
The water was poisoned. That's a bunch of black people in the city.
Yes,
Why couldn't we just go and start to invest in things to start to boil and what's the process called? Filter our own water. You know why? Because God said we would serve our enemies for what?
In hunger
Food
and in thirst.
and in thirst for the water. We gotta go to the city. We gotta go to the state. We gotta go to city council to even get clean water.
You have to turn it on.
To even be able to turn, thank you. To even be able to turn it on. Come on.
and in
And
nakedness.
in nakedness, come on. Meaning the clothes on your back, come on.
And in want of all things.
Now I'm gonna give you the want of all things that you would serve your enemy for. A driver's license. I can't go to you for a driver's license, can I?
No.
How about a passport? How about a birth certificate?
No.
How about a death certificate?
No.
I can't go to you for that.
Not even-
What about a marriage license?
I gotta go to the city. I gotta go downtown.
You gotta go downtown. You gotta go to the city. You gotta go to the state. You gotta go to the mayor. Our people don't run these things. And guess what? That's a curse. That's a curse that would fall upon these people right here.
That's right.
Where do you identify on this sign? Where do you identify? What tribe would you be from?
I am from the tribe of Judah.
You'd be-
That's right.
Jesus Christ was from the tribe of Judah. We are in hell. We are in captivity. God said that's a curse that will be upon the children of Israel. Now let's go back because I wanted to identify. Now I want you to answer. Who are the enemies of the children of Israel?
The enemies of the children of Israel that's a lot of answers. Now the people that are not chosen by God, the enemy against the chosen tribes of Judah,
Like who? Give me some nations.
Give you some nations.
Give me some people.
Let's see.
Just give me maybe the top 3 to 5 that come off top of your head. The first-
Whites.
White people,
White
okay.
supremacy is one of those.
The so-called white man is an enemy.
Is an
And
enemy.
guess what? He runs the whole earth.
Yeah.
What else? Who else?
Man, I never really thought about my enemies. Now that you say that.
I understand. A lot of our people, I didn't.
I used to think of anybody that didn't want to see me come up was my enemy.
Okay.
You know, let's see. I mean, business.
What
owners,
other
they would
nation of
consider my enemy? They not
What
giving
nations
me
are
nothing.
setting up gas stations and clothing stores in your neighborhoods?
The Hispanics, the most of the Hispanics
But they're
now
not your
are
enemies. They're not your enemies. We're the same people.
we the same people. Yeah.
They going through the same hell we going through. They may have their own stores.
Yeah. Ways
But
they
what
do
other
it.
nation of people is setting up stores in your neighborhoods? How many stories you got to see on Facebook where you got other nations beating our women upside the head, punching our women upside the head in these nail salons,
Yes.
in these hair stores?
Lord,
Who
yes.
owns those nail salons and those hair
The
stores?
Korean, the Asian descent.
Okay, well, there
That's
we
right.
go. There we go. How about those Chinese, those Koreans?
They own just about every store in this strip.
There you go.
Actually, now that you say that.
So who are the enemies? Those nations outside of the children of Israel.
The treatment of God. We are not black men, we are Israelites.
a Jew, it sound odd. For years I've been walking around saying that I'm a black man. I ain't saying that no more, it sounds wrong, man.
This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.